is linear.
So here we are to see the types of actuator. So there are two types of actuator. First one is linear and another one is rotary. Here on your screen you can see the types of linear actuators again. So linear actuators again having three types. First one is rotary cylinder, then second one is non-rotary cylinder, and third one is the special type cylinder. The rotating cylinder, don't go on this on the name of this rotating. It is linear actuator, means its cylinder is only rotating but it produces the linear motion. Linear motion produced by actuator, then it is called as linear actuator. And if it is producing rotary motion, then we name is as rotary actuator. Here rotating cylinder means here cylinder is only rotating but it produces the motion which is linear motion. That's why we are calling is that rotating cylinder linear actuator. The second type is non-rotating cylinder. It is having again two types, single acting cylinder and double acting cylinder. If only a single port is present for the entry and exit of oil, and this oil is present only on one side of the piston, then we name it as single acting cylinder. And when there are two separate ports are present for entry and exit of oil, and oil is present on both sides of the piston, then we are naming it as double acting cylinder. I already shows you this single acting and double acting cylinder in previous video. Then we are having this special type cylinders. First one is diaphragm, then tandem cylinder, double rod end cylinder, telescopic, then cylinder with cushioning. I will show you this special type of cylinder one by one after this in next slide. Just see the video. So here you can see the cylinder is rotating, but it's produce motion linear. That's why we are naming it as rotating cylinder linear actuator. And how? What is the rotating actuator? I will show you on next slide. Only concept is that just see this rotating cylinder, and through this rotating cylinder, this piston is traveled in the linear way. That's why we are naming it as rotating cylinder linear actuator. These rotating cylinders are used to operate work holding devices such as chucks, where the cylinders are rotating and the piston is extended or retracted using the direction control port. Here you can see that. Here you can see from this red port, high pressure oil is coming inside, so that extraction is occurs, and this oil is removed through this port, so that retraction is achieved here. Okay. The rotating cylinder are used in chucks, collards, mandrels, etc. to hold and release the workpiece while the spindle is running. Okay. Its operation is easy, where no need to stop the machine, no need to chuck keys. The function of loading and unloading the job is very quick, and it serves the machining time.
Pneumatic piston O-shaped shut-off ball valve, JSHQ,
16K.
So here we are going to see here this rotary actuators. It is again having two types: limited rotating actuator, which is vane type, and piston type. Another one is continuous rotating actuator, which are based on direction and based on construction. I will show you these actuators one by one. Just see this video in which you will get that how we are going to control what is the need of rotary actuators.
Pneumatic piston O-shaped shut-off ball valve, ZSHQ 16K. ZSHQ pneumatic piston O-shaped shut-off ball valve applies dual-piece ball valve construction. The valve body consists of two parts, primary and secondary. The ball core uses flow-through diameter, characteristic of large rate flow coefficient, and limit flow resistance. The ball core surface is hardened under special process, so the surface is smooth and wearing-proof. The sealing material is carbon fiber enhanced Teflon, featuring fine cutting performance, excellent sealing properties, and long service life. The actuator chooses high-performance dual-piston pinion and rack mechanism, extending high driving efficiency and contact design. The nominal pressure rating of this series is PN 1.6, 4.0, 6.4 MPa. The valve's orifice range is DN millimeters, 15 to 300, and the applicable medium temperature is 60 centigrade below zero to 2500 centigrade. The valve is widely used in such industrial sectors, including petroleum, chemical industry, pharmaceuticals, light textile, paper making, etc. For cutting or switching medium in gas and liquid conduit, meeting diverse requirements on work conditions. The ball valve has following characteristics. 1. Valve seat limiter structure, stable torque, reasonably pre-tightened and pistoned valve seat sealing ring, maximizing operational torque. 2. Stem design against the fly-out, highly reliable and secure, bottom-mounted stem, which will not fly out because of excessive medium pressure, with no possibility of security thoroughly. 3. Unique fireproof design, sealing performance even under burning. The valve is a combo type made of stainless steel and surrounded by Teflon sealing faces. There is a gap designed between the stainless steel sealing faces and ball body. When Teflon sealing rings are burnt by fire, the stainless steel seat presses down to the ball upon spring force, producing sealing between the ball and the stainless steel sealing faces. 4. Anti-static apparatus leading out static.
Here you can see to control the flow, means to make on and off the flow, we need to produce this rotary motion. So to get this rotary motion, we are using here rotary actuator. You can see here this ball is get rotated using this actuator here, which is named as rotary actuator. Okay.
Simplified and easy installed anti-static apparatus connecting the ball, stem, and valve body as a whole always. The static produced by abrasion of sealing faces upon switching.
The components such as stem, then connector rod, then these are some extra assembly components which we are used for the for connecting the actuator with the ball along with the bracket here. So we are not having that concept. We are not going to make the assembly here, but how we are going to use actuator practically, you can see here in this video.
Will be laid out. 5. Pneumatic switching will be laid out.
So the complete assembly of ball along with the actuator here. The presence of this handle says that it can be manually operated also. When there is a power failure, at that time this actuator can be operated manually, else we can control this actuator using hydraulic oil or compressed air, whatever we have at the location. Okay. Now we are going to see the another type of rotary actuator. So here we are. This is rack and pinion type rotary actuator. How this rack and pinion can be used to obtain this rotary motion is explained in the animation here. Okay. Here you can see this rack and pinion are used to obtain the rotary motion of actuator. This rotary motion can be used to open and close the valve. So we are having another video here. Here again, using this hydraulic oil, we are getting this rotary motion. That's why we are naming it as rotary actuator. This is non-restricted type rotary actuator. And this one is restricted type rotary actuator. This is restricted type rotary actuator, and this is non-restricted type rotary actuator. So here again the theory which we see in this in previous slides, that linear actuator produces linear or reciprocating motion. They contain piston inside the cylinder. I already showed you the assembly of this actuator. When hydraulic oil is supplied to one end of cylinder, oil will exert pressure on piston and reciprocating motion of piston occurs. And in the various different types of these linear actuators are rotating cylinder actuator, non-rotating cylinder, linear actuator, then special type of linear actuator. So here we are going to see this again in 2D format here, that how that rotating cylinder is used, then how that works. I already showed you that how that rotating cylinder linear actuator works in animation format already. Okay. So here this is the single acting single piston rod cylinder. I already shows you this in animation format also. This is the compressing spring which is used for retraction stroke of this cylinder. This type of cylinder having application in sequencing circuit or in tamping the workpiece. The symbol is similar to the construction. Single acted spring return actuator cylinder can be shown by this symbol here. Just wait a minute. So this is single acting spring loaded cylinder. How it works, I already showed you in animation. This is extraction stroke when high pressure oil comes on the one side of the piston. This is double acting cylinder, and this is the symbol for double acting cylinder. This is cylinder, this is piston, this is connecting rod, and we are showing the two vents through which the oil comes and goes from the cylinder. That's why we are naming it as double acting cylinder with single piston rod, or simply we can call it that double acting cylinder. double acting cylinder can be drawn like this also. So the special type cylinder, which is diaphragm cylinder, when we require very small linear motion, at that time we are going to use the diaphragm cylinder. This diaphragm cylinder used for very small displacement. Diaphragm is used instead of piston. It deflects due to hydraulic fluid. When hydraulic fluid comes from this side, then this diaphragm goes in downward direction or towards right direction. This piston moves out. And when we remove the force of hydraulic oil, then diaphragm comes to its original position, and this connecting rod, piston rod, moves inside. So you can normally assume here that very small displacement is obtained, and when we require very small displacement, at the time we are going to use the special type cylinder, which is diaphragm type cylinder actuators. Okay, so this is double rod end cylinder. When we are going to connecting rod on both sides of this piston, then it becomes double rod end cylinder, and working is same. This is special type cylinder or tandem cylinder. In tandem cylinder, there are multiple partitions present inside the cylinder. That's why we are naming it as tandem cylinder. Else working is same. Only difference is that there is multiple partitions are present. You can see here, this is the partition in the cylinder. That's why we are naming it as tandem cylinder actually. Again, this is important concept. This is the telescopic cylinder. In telescopic cylinder, more than two cylinders are mounted one inside another, and when we required extraction force or when we applied high pressure hydraulic oil, then these cylinders comes out one by one. This type of cylinder, telescopic cylinder, we are going to use in mostly cranes and dumper lifting. You see in dumper lifting here, one by one the cylinders are coming out, and for this kind of cylinder we are using telescopic cylinder, where the cylinders comes out one by one, producing a high or more linear displacement there. Telescopic displacement can be shown by this diagram also. Then cylinder with cushioning. You know that when this cushioning are provided for the safety purpose of the cylinder, so that cylinder will cushioning. We are producing this cushioning to the cylinder just for the safety purpose, so or to increase the life of the cylinder. So it is if the cylinder is long, it is its stroke